Today I'm going to take you through how I train for a Stalder Press at a playground. So I'm looking after the kids today, so it's a little bit harder to train. So I'm going to use the equipment that I have around me to do a straight arm session. I'm going to do a Stalder Press session. I'm going to do some skin the cats. There isn't a bar here, I don't have rings, so skin the cat's going to be interesting. And I'm going to use the options we have around us in a playground setting to warm up and train my Stalder Press. So first of all, I just want to get my straddle open. So I'm going to go into a normal straddle good morning position. I'm going to do reps going up and down, and I'm going to do some holds in the bottom position. If you're tight in this one, just raise the hips up, bend the knees as needed. So lots of options with the hanging. I'm going to use these as at the moment just for a warm up. So it's like a ledge. I also want to get my fingers grip strength a little bit better. So this is perfect. So I'm just going to do a 60-second hold, passive. Okay, to warm up the handstand, I'm going to do a quick wrist prep, and then I'm just going to do 10 kick-ups in a row, trying to hold for 2 to 3 seconds with control before coming back down. If you're still using the wall, just do it up against the wall. So trying to kiss the wall, hold in a good position, 2 to 3 seconds, come back down, repeat. Try and keep your shoulders the focal point and your setup position exactly the same on each one. Okay, back on the hang, and I'm going to do active, passive hangs, keeping the body straight, 10 repetitions up and down. Okay, I'm going to warm my press up now, so I'm going to do 5 presses in a row. Just standard straddle presses. If you don't have a press yet, use the wall drill. So stick your butt up against the wall. Use a wall or a post or something, so I'm a little bit restricted here, so I'm not going to go into a straight handstand, but I'm just going to go from straddle to touch the toes to the floor. So I'm going to jump up to it. You could kick. Stick my butt against the wall. I'm going to turn over, try and get my low back to touch. Mid back, upper back. Try and kiss the toes. And then if I have it, I should go back up from there. I'm struggling there, so I need to move the hands slightly further away. Head guides the back in, back there. If you need to, if you struggle with getting your legs to roll down, if you struggle to get your back to roll down, tuck the tail under, low back, mid back, upper back, keeping the knees slightly back. Slightly easier to roll the spine. And with bent legs, it doesn't extend your legs too far that way. You obviously could do freestyle and eccentrics as well if you don't have the press yet. So there's no high bar that's straight here, so I'm just going to do a tick-tock movement now on this lower bar. So keeping in a tight tug, but just go between the lowest position I can go with the hip on both sides, keeping the arms dead straight. 5 repetitions. So that was definitely limited for the range of motion, so I'm going to have to find something higher for the full skin of cats. Okay, for the Stalder Press, I'm going to do eccentric Stalder Presses now, and with a 5-second hold at the bottom in the straddle L. You can separate these 2 movements to do some sort of eccentric press, followed by a squat to straddle L. That could be on a raised surface. So if you're missing that range, you could just do your press variation that you've done last time, so using the wall of freestanding eccentric, and then enter your straddle L from the squat position. So I've got clearance here. I can walk my feet to the edge, keep the knees bent, hold there, extend if you can. So I'm going to attempt a full skin the cat now on the netting here. So again, biggest range of motion with the arms staying straight at the time. If you need to, you can bend your elbows on the way up.
Oh my god, are you so small that you can do that? Owie! You okay? Dad! Archie just wants a hug. Oh! Spider Daddy! Daddy, Archie's not the monster. Daddy, Daddy's Spider-Man!
Okay, now I'm going to try the actual Stalder Press from the floor. You know, if you have the strength but not the range of motion, just raise your hands up onto something. So if you're not quite flexible, you could use something like this. So you've got the range of motion requirement is not so big, so I can bend my knees on the way through. Obviously there's a bit of strength involved. You could do an eccentric now with the hands this high and go all the way through to your straddle L, just keeping the knees bent. Now your other option, if you don't quite have the Stalder Press but you're close, is to do partial range. So you have 2 targets. Now these are going to be really hard because they're very small. So getting them in the right position, not just forwards and backwards away from your hands, but side to side is the main one. Oh. So I'm going to use this line for where my fingers go, and then I'm going to place the water bottles down as my target, roughly where I think they should go. So I'm going to go with that distance. I'm going to start in the handstand, I'm going to lower it, see if I can touch them with my toes and come up, back up again. Let me just do this one, mate, buddy. You okay?
Paper? Dude, look at all the sprinklers. All the water. Where's my drink?
No, that wasn't what...
Where's my drink?
No, I was totally in the wrong place there. My feet went to the outside of it.
Where's my drink?
You can use this one, buddy. So definitely using something wider would be much better. So I'm going to test my grip strength now. I'm going to try and use my fingertips on the rail and try and do a skin the cat.
I'm Archie. I am from another channel called
That was definitely way harder than the rings for me. And I stopped with the German hand because I actually felt my fingers were going to slip off at the bottom. But it's a good example of forcing yourself to train somewhere else that's going to give you different variations, different grip positions, different hand positions. Like balancing the handstand on that soft floor is definitely harder from a feedback point of view, so my balance isn't quite so good. So to finish for me, I'm going to try and do a Stalder Press up to 1 arm on each side and come back down again as clean as possible. I'm going to find somewhere cool to elevate it. Let me know if you have any questions or experiences training outside of your norms. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks, guys.